Our meeting is the prepared speeches. Tonight we only have one speaker. Our Vice President of Education will be giving a speech from the manual. It's speech number 4, addressing the opposition. The speech objectives are to prepare a talk on a controversial subject, construct the speech to appeal to the audience's logic and emotions. The time will be 7 to 9 minutes, with 2 to 3 minutes for questions. Are the questions included in the 7 to 9?
No, that's after that.
Okay. When does life begin? Jerry Dixon. Jerry Dixon, when does life begin?
Thank you. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. When does life begin? Sounds like a very esoteric question. The interesting thing that I find about that question is that when you ask someone, when does life begin, you'll get an answer. And people will be happy to answer you with conviction, like they're simply stating the obvious facts. When the fact of the matter is, they're just giving you their opinion. I don't think anyone on earth really knows for sure when life begins. I think the only one who does really know when life begins is God. And for some reason, He's chosen not to tell us. I've studied the Bible, and let me tell you, you can read the Bible through 10 times, and you won't find a discussion on abortion or when does life begin. God has left it up to each individual conviction. So when does life begin? And by life, I'm talking about a constitutional or a God-given right to life. Some people believe that life begins at the point of conception. Some people believe life doesn't begin until the actual birth. And then many people believe that life begins at some point in between those two extremes. Personally, I'm one of the few people willing to stand up and say, I don't know when life begins. I don't know, and I don't have any way of knowing. I think both sides have a very good argument. But when required to take a stand, I tend to come down on the pro-choice side. And let me tell you why. The attitude of the pro-choice people is we understand that abortion is a very sensitive issue. And no one really knows for sure all the questions about it. So we feel that everyone should be able to make this decision for themselves. All we ask is that as we let you decide for yourself what's right for you, you allow us to decide for ourselves what's right for us. And I think that's a very reasonable attitude. The attitude of the pro-life side is we're right, our opposition is wrong, and we feel justified in trying to force everyone else to abide by our opinion. And I've heard these people say that they feel it's justified to murder an abortionist because it's going to save the lives of so many babies. And some have gone so far as to bomb abortion clinics. Another point is that the pro-life people, most of them are not very solid in their conviction because they will allow certain exceptions. Like if the life of the mother is threatened, or if the health of the mother is at risk, be it physical or psychological, they will allow abortion in those cases. They will allow abortion in cases of rape or incest. But then they say abortion is murder. Now, if abortion is murder, it shouldn't matter how the girl got pregnant. Either abortion is murder or it isn't. One of the two. It's not murder in some cases, and it's not, but it is in others. It either is or isn't. And also, politicians like to take a pro-life position and say, what I mean is they take a politically correct position and say they're pro-life. However, they'll allow exceptions in certain cases. Or they'll say, we'll just leave it up to the states. That's not a solid conviction. The TV and movie industry likes to be politically correct. I've seen a lot of movies about young girls who've gotten pregnant and they decide they're going to have an abortion, so they go to the clinic and they get right up to the point to do that, and then all of a sudden they have this epiphany, oh my God, I can't kill my baby, and they just don't do it. You watch these movies and they don't do it. They end up having the baby and then trying to raise it or whatever the movie is about. Now, if the pro-life people do get their way and somehow get the Supreme Court to make abortion illegal, this would result in several problems that society will have to deal with. For one thing, it would cause overpopulation. And overpopulation in the worst way. Babies being born to mothers who don't want them. And I think that is a terrible way for any baby to enter life. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. And of course, making it illegal is not going to stop it. People will do it anyway. And when it's done illegally, then we lose all control in various important issues. It's done in unsanitary conditions. There's botched abortions which can cause death to the woman. And of course, anything that's illegal, anything that's legal and then you make it illegal, the price goes sky high. And that causes other problems too. Now, I want to bring up the subject of partial birth abortions. That is the big argument of the pro-life side. Now, my understanding is that partial birth abortions are only done in very rare cases when it's expected that the baby will be born with the very serious birth defects. And I think to allow a baby to be born with serious birth defects is really a cruel thing to be done to the baby. Partial birth abortions are a very distasteful thing, but in very rare cases where this is going to happen, I think we consider that maybe this should be allowed. Now, this is my opinion, which is that whenever a fetus is aborted, that soul goes back into the pool of souls to be born to other mothers, to be conceived, and go through that process again. I really don't think that a soul up in wherever has one and only one chance to be born. I've studied the Bible and I've thought about this a lot, and I feel that that is a very reasonable thing, and I think that's what happens. I don't have any proof that that's right. I don't have any evidence to show you, but I feel that that is what happens. So one day I'll find out after I've done. Now, like I said, abortion is very distasteful to pretty much everyone. Nobody is really pro-abortion. Unexpected things happen in life. Things that need to be fixed. And this is one way to do it. So what I would like each one of you to do is, when you're considering taking a stance, maybe taking action for some organization on the pro-life side, give some thought to what I've said tonight, and maybe support the pro-choice side, because maybe you are not absolutely right. Maybe you are. Maybe someday we'll find out. But now, we don't know, and I think we should seriously consider both sides before we go out and take some serious action one way or the other. Thank you. Now I've got a couple minutes to take questions. Steve?
Wouldn't you consider that the people who would, say, bomb an abortion clinic are really more characteristic of the mentally unbalanced than of the political right?
I don't think they're mentally unbalanced. I think the ones that go that far are very, very solid in their conviction, and they feel that that this is the right thing to do. Maybe God has told them this is what they should do, because they kill one doctor who does abortions, and it may save the lives of 100 babies. And I think that people that go that far are doing so because they feel that strong about it. But I don't think that they're in any way mentally unstable now. Dan?
Okay, I understand, how you say it's a person's individual choice. What about there are pro-abortion people out there, people that believe that we should try to control population and that certain people shouldn't have babies and things like that, and they actually are out there promoting abortion. Not just the poor woman that accidentally gets pregnant and doesn't know what to do, but what about people that actually do promote abortion?
I think that is going too far on the other side. I'm a strong advocate in controlling population worldwide. But you need to control it in family planning and birth control. Not wait until it's time for abortion. At that point, abortion may be the right thing in a certain case for a certain woman, but as a general rule, you don't want to do that for the purpose of controlling population. That should have been done a long time ago. So again, on either side, you can go to the extremes. Yes?
Don't you think the woman should actually decide what to do, because it's basically, I think, 80% their choice? I mean,
Absolutely. It has to come down to the woman's choice, because she is the one that is going to have to live with this decision either way for the rest of her life. Men can give advice as much as they want, and that's good, but ultimately, I think it's up to the woman to control it herself. Thank you. My time is up.
Thank you, Julie. Sorry about the delay. We will take a